In the air, he's wondering, when are we going to have our regular meeting here at home plate? Swap the lineup. He's got a big smile on his face, so is Jim Fregosi. And the umpires will get together. The photographer around the edges of the conference. Wait till soon, he should appear, I think. Before I give you the starting lineup, let's pause here for station identification. This is the Detroit Tiger Baseball Network.
This is your power station for sports, WJR Detroit, Radio 76, the service of Capital City Communications.
For the Tigers against the right-hander Dave Frost, whom they've never seen before, it'll be Ron LeFlore leading off, playing in center field, followed by second baseman Lou Whitaker. Hitting third will be the Tigers' DH, Rusty Staub. Batting cleanup at first base, Jason Thompson. Hitting fifth, left fielder Steve Kemp. Batting sixth, doing the catching, Milt May. Hitting seventh in right field, Tim Corcoran. Batting eighth, third baseman Phil Mankowski. And batting ninth at shortstop, Alan Trammell. So the Tiger lineup has LeFlore in center, followed by Whitaker at second, Staub the DH, Thompson at first, Kemp in left, May catching, Corcoran in right, Mankowski at third, and Trammell at short. The Angels taking the field now. They'll line up this way in the batting order. Leading off, center fielder Rich Miller. He'll be followed by second baseman Bobby Grich, right fielder Lyman Bostock, first baseman Ron Jackson, the DH Don Baylor, left fielder Joe Rudi, third baseman Carney Lansford, the shortstop Dave Chalk, and the catcher Brian Downing. Now we invite you to join us here in Anaheim and listening to Robert Goldberg singing our national anthem. Goldberg, accompanied by Shade Clark and our national anthem. And now, before today's game begins, we'll pause for these messages.
You know, there are some basics in life that are important to most people. One of them is getting what you pay for. That's why a lot of people have gotten to be friends with their marathon man. Because they know he takes a personal interest in the well-being of their cars. An interest that goes beyond just filling the tank and checking it out. Your marathon man still thinks wiping your windshield, checking the air in your tires, and the water in your battery is part of what you pay for when you come into his station. And your marathon man still knows how to service your car when it needs it, and how to treat you the way he likes to be treated when he's a customer. So if you haven't already gotten to be friends with your marathon man, well, you really ought to. You'll definitely get what you pay for, and probably a little bit more. Marathon Oil Company. We got together to do it better, and we do.
Point of View presents opinions and attitudes. They are Radio 76.
Dave Frost, he is 6'6", 235 pounds, out of Long Beach, California. one-time basketball player at Stanford University, getting a start against the Tigers. The first time he has ever faced Detroit. His lifetime record in Major League pitching is 3-2. That meant he was 1-1 with the White Sox, while up briefly with Chicago. 2-1 so far this season with California, used sparingly. This is his fifth start of this season. He beat Kansas City, his first win in late June, after having no decision in another start at Kansas City. And shut out Seattle 5-0 and a 5-hitter in his last outing 8 days ago. So he's coming off a shutout performance. The Tigers were just shut out for only the fourth time this season last night by Frank Tanana. Frost has pitched exceptionally well here at Anaheim with an ERA of 0.53. He's allowed only one run in 17 innings of pitching. Ron LeFlore will step in to lead it off for the Tigers against the big right-hander as he surveys his infield and outfield. And in front of the microphone now to get us started, here's Ernie Harwell.
Thanks, Paul Terry. Hi, everybody. LeFlore moving that average up, hitting 285 now. Faces the young right-hander David Frost. Frost into motion, delivers. We're underway. The pitch is high. Ball one on the leadoff man, LeFlore. Whitaker and Staub scheduled to follow. The outfield straight away on Ron, and the third baseman Lansford in about even with the bag. Ron's opened up his stance somewhat, and he takes the strike. Picks the Joe up for the right-hand call. 1-1, the count on LeFlore. Batting more than a crouch right now, and the pitch is taken for strike two. That was the curve over from Frost. Now the young right-hander. A little bit of a breeze. It's not getting up to us, but there's one out there somewhere. As Old Glory is wafting a little in the breeze. Here's a pitch. It's a ball in close. 2-2 the count on him. There's a lot of difference here in the way the ball carries in the daytime and at nighttime. Nighttime, it's not much of a hitter's park, but in the daytime, it changes. And we might see a few home runs. Here's a 2-2 pitch. He swings and fouls it away, reaching out on an outside delivery. Back into the seat. That one went off the facing of the second deck. Lansford at third, Chalk at short, Grich at second, Jackson playing first. Rudi in left, Miller in center, Bostock in right. The catcher Downing and the pitcher's Frost. That's the California Angel alignment. And now time called at the plate. LeFlore waiting too long on the pitcher Frost decides he'll step away. These two teams have met 4 times and each has 2 victories. There's a sidearm fastball that got away from Downing. And the count is full now on Ron LeFlore. Incidentally, Jim Fregosi, as hot as it is today, 88 degrees, that's in the shade, he's wearing his jacket again. Here's a 3-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled away. Asking Dick Suzuki about that coming in on the bus from the hotel. Said, why does Fregosi wear that jacket on such a hot night? And Dick said, I don't know, but we'll really have a test today to see if he wears it in the daytime.
I think we should introduce him to Woody Hayes. He wears a sports shirt in frigid weather.
There's a compromise there somewhere. There's a pitch low, and he walked in. So LeFlore went for a walk as the Tigers get that leadoff man on. Whitaker will be the batter. Well, a lot of the Tigers' scoring success is predicated on whether that leadoff man LeFlore can get on. Here's Lansford in close, looking for the bunt possibility from Whitaker. Lou batting at 3-0-4. The outfield is flanked to the left on him. And the pitch is a strike called on the outside corner. LeFlore bluffing, held on at first base. Jackson will stay on the bag with him for a couple of reasons. Number one, he's a very dangerous runner. And number two, Whitaker, though left-handed, doesn't pull that ball down that first base side that much. Here's the pitch. He takes the ball low. It bounced away from Downing, and LeFlore will cruise into second base. That will be a wild pitch, allowing LeFlore to reach second. the first one that Mr. Frost has thrown. So, without the benefit of a hit now, the Tigers have a runner in scoring position in the first inning. LeFlore at second, nobody out. 1-1 the count on Whitaker. Frost at second is fine. Big, tall right-hander, 6 foot 6 inch. Delivers is a half swing. It's a strike. He tried to hold up with a high inside fastball, but he went across. Now the count is the other way around. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. According to Mr. Botaggio's fingers. Now LeFlore coming down the line from second. No score first inning. Frost delivers. Here's a foul out of play on the screen. He didn't get around on the Frost fastball. Billingham is the Tigers pitcher this afternoon. By the way, when the Tigers come home on Sunday, July the 23rd, it'll be Free Helmet Day. It's a bounding ball to third. Lansford gloves it. Throws to first. In time, he's out there and holding his second LeFlore. Lansford threw the ball in the dirt, but a good one-hop pickup by Jackson saved the overthrow and made the out on Whitaker. So Staub, the batter with a man at second, and 1 away. Rusty batting .294, 11 home runs, and 68 runs batted in. Outfield is just about straight up on him. They've got the infield back a little deeper on the right side than on the left. Frost taking his time. He works off the middle of the slab as he gets his pass to the catcher Downing. Here's the stretch in the pitch. Rusty swings and pops it up into the infield out near shortstop. Chalk is there fighting the sun, makes the catch. He had a lot of trouble with that bright sky. Had to go at it sort of side saddle. That makes 2 down and leads it up to Jason Thompson. Jason hitting .292, 19 home runs, 61 runs batted in. Californian returning to his native land for this series. He's all up and down the West Coast in this trip, starting in Seattle, then down to Anaheim, and then back to Oakland. Single game here tomorrow night, after which the Tigers head to Oakland for a couple. And then when they get home, they'll open up against the Angels this coming Friday, a Friday night doubleheader. Saturday game and then a Sunday doubleheader. All at Tiger Stadium. So we hope to see you out there. We'll make good big action when the Tigers get back home. Now Frost taking his time. He sets, he pitches, and Thompson hits a bounding ball to short. Chalk bobbles it. Can't pick it up. LeFlore gets to third and holds there. Thompson takes it first. It'll be an error. Not a very tough play, actually, for the shortstop. A little bit to his left. Had a short hop to negotiate, but wasn't too tougher one. He just couldn't handle it. And then when he bobbled the ball, he couldn't find it. So that leaves the Tigers alive with a man at first and a man at third. No score. 2 down, and Steve Kemp at the plate. Steve hitting .276. His home run total is 7. He has 38 runs batted in. Here's the pitch to Steve, and it's a strike over the heart of the plate about knee-high. Kemp has hit safely in 13 of the last 14 games. Man at third, LeFlore. Man at first, Thompson. Sets the pitch. He bunts toward third. It'll go foul. Milt May waiting at the on-deck circle. Ralph House using his left-hand hitters this afternoon against the right-hand pitching of Frost. year against California, Kemp had only 3 for 16. That's a batting mark of 188 against the Angels only. Little conference at the mound is over. Kemp digging in. Strike 2, the count on him. 2 on and 2 out. No score first inning. Frost delivers. Kemp takes a high, hard one. 1 and 2, the count. Here's the bulletin off our ticket that Pete Rose has doubled in the 7th inning to extend his consecutive game hitting streak to 29. There's a bounding ball to deep second. Gloved by Grich. Throw to second to short. The fourth out is Steve on Thompson. And the Tigers threaten but do not score. They have no runs, no hits, 1 error, 2 runners are left at the end of a half inning. Detroit nothing, and the Angels are coming to bat.
I bought an economy car. Nice little car. Of course, I had to give up big car rides.
I just bought a smaller car, too. I gave up a lot of passengers. But with prices going up and up, I figure you got to give up and up.
Well, I didn't give up. I bought a new Plymouth Volare 4-door, and I didn't give up the things I want. I got the big car ride Frank gave up, the room for 6 Harry gave up, plus the compact economy they didn't give up. So why didn't they buy a Volare? I give up.
No compromise when you economize. Although your mileage may vary, the EPA rates a 1-barrel, 6-cylinder Volare 4-door with manual transmission at 28 miles per gallon highway and 20 city. Don't give up. Get a Plymouth Volare.
For a great value on Plymouth Volare, see your greater Detroit Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
Well, the Tigers would like to send their best get well wishes to one of their favorite Tiger fans, Milt Stark, confined to the McLaren Hospital in Flint, Michigan. Our very best, and we hope she's up and at him soon. Well, Richard and Doris Kemp from Glencoe, Ontario, celebrating their honeymoon out here at the ballpark today, enjoying the action between the Tigers and the Californians. Also, David, Mike, and Danny Lesky, and their grandmother, all from Monroe, Michigan. And Dr. Arnold Jacobs of Hollywood, formerly of Bloomfield Hills, a great Tiger fan, out to see these two teams battle it out on a hot Sunday afternoon. Well, Mr. Billingham, the Tigers' veteran right-hander with a record of 7-5, about ready to go to work. Rick Miller will lead it off, the left-hand batting outfielder. Miller batting .282, and he takes a strike over on the outside corner from Jack Billingham. Bobby Grich and Lyman Bostock set to follow. The outfielder left on Rick Miller. He swings and hits a bounding foul down past the Tiger dugout, off the barrier that fronts the box seat, past the dugout. The Nature Group will wonder with the Simpson Bus Ball Express. Tiger tickets and Simpson bus transportation. A good time for everybody. Call 962-9800. There's a very wide one off the net of Milt May. 1-2 the count. Tigers got 2 men on without the benefit of a hit in the opening inning, but they couldn't push him around. No score in the last half of the first in California. There's a swing and a miss on the change, and the Miller strikes out. Bobby Grich ready to step in now. He'll be followed by Bostock. Billingham's won his last 2 games after he lost a couple. 1st of July, he beat the Yankees 8-4. The last time out, he beat the Indians. That was in Detroit. He went all the way to win that one 13-3. Well, the Tigers have scored a lot of runs for Jack the last couple of times. Here's the strike called. Bobby Grich batting .234. Standing very deep. And the right-hand batter hits a fly ball to deep center going back LeFlore. He's there waiting. He has it. 2 down, nobody on, and Lyman Bostock ready to step up. Lyman hitting .284 with a couple of home runs and 36 RBIs. Another hitter who stands at the very back of the batter's box. He's a left-hand batter. Billingham delivers, and the curve is over for a strike. There's a looping drive to right. Coming in is Corcoran. He's here to glove it for the out, and the side down 1-2-3 in the California first. At the end of one, the Tigers nothing, the Angels nothing.
Curious investigative responses. A three-word description of Warren Pierce, who brings you close encounters of the direct kind. Every evening on Radio 76. Here's a person-to-person clearinghouse of information, both serious and trivial, plus great music, surprise guests, and an open line to whatever's on your mind. Warren Pierce, evenings from 7 to 10, here on WJR Radio 76.
Here's your ticket to a charter flight to the other side of midnight. When Captain J. Roberts pilots you to the new dawn on Night Flight 76. Combining a sensitive choice of fine music, low-key but lively commentary, and information that is basic to your plans and activities. Climb on board anytime between 11:30 p.m. and 5 a.m. J. Roberts and Night Flight, here on WJR, Radio 76.
Did you know that Coach Newt Rockney holds the record for the most substitutions in a single football game? 145 played for Notre Dame. I'm Frank Sexton, WJR Sports.
No score, second inning on tap, and it will be Milt May, the leader up for the Tigers, followed by Corcoran, and then Mankowski. Angels have been tough. They're leading the division by 2 games now. They won 7 of their last 8 and 13 of their last 17. And here in the Big A, they won 13 of their last 16 games. Here's Milt May batting .264, left-hand hitting catcher against Dave Frost, a young right-hander from Stanford. California getting a lot of young pitchers on their staff and building that pitching staff with youth. Here's the pitch. It is a ball high. They're bringing up John Canera from Salt Lake City in the Pacific Coast League. He's been put on the roster. He'll be here tomorrow night and pitch against the Tigers. There's a high fly ball lifted into short right center. Bostock and Miller are there. It's Bostock to glove it for the out. May flies to right, one down, and here is Tim Corcoran, another Californian who plays on the Tigers, coming to bat. Tim hitting .250, no home runs, 12 runs batted in. Making room for the new pitcher, Canera, since Chris Knapp has said goodbye to the ball club. He's the fellow that went AWOL, decided he didn't want to pitch here. They couldn't get together, and they wish him good luck. Here's a pitch on the outside corner. Strike one, the count on Corky. Now this game is scoreless in the second inning at Anaheim. Here it comes. He swings and rolls one toward first base. Off the mound comes the pitcher, Frost, and tags the batter, Corcoran, and takes down the line for the out.
He stood there as though he were stunned a little bit, Ernie. And it looked to me like Frost gave Corcoran the worst of it, because Corky is coming down the line, and Frost gave him a pretty good whack with the ball in the glove, but then all of a sudden Frost just simply stood on the line stunned, and Freddie Federico has gone out to check on him. He may have twisted his neck or wrenched his neck. He's rubbing it right now, and Jim Fregosi, at windbreaker and all out there in the middle of the diamond, will probably give him some practice tosses. He may have pulled a muscle, I don't know. He's still rubbing the back of his neck. And I think they'll take a look at him for a couple of pitches.
He really powers over Freddie, hasn't he?
Boy. Oh, Mutton Jeff acts out there.
Oh, he's going to take a few tune-ups here to see how he reacts. Meanwhile, Mankowski is standing aside waiting. He'll be the next batter. Mike Verhagia, Howard Falker are here from Detroit on vacation. Seeing the Tigers battle the Californians. There goes Fergosi back. He's got that jacket on. He's not going to take it off. Sort of the reverse of Blue at the World Series when it was so cold he wouldn't put on a coat. Here's Mankowski at the plate. No score, 2 out, nobody on for the Tigers. So Mr. Frost says he's okay. And he pitches. There's a foul out over the screen. Strike 1, the count on Mankowski. Kansas City still leading the Yankees in the last half of the 7th in New York, 3-1. Now the pitch on the way. Swing, there's a line shot to center, base hit. That is the first hit for the Tigers. Mankowski on with a 2-out single. The batter will be Trammell. Allen hitting .278, a couple of home runs and 15 runs batted in. Well, the Angels will go over the 1 million mark this afternoon. It's the earliest date in the history of the franchise that they've done that. They set their attendance record here in 1966. But they're well ahead of that pace. Here's a strike called on Trammell. Jackson holding at first base for Mankowski. Well, this is a scoreless deadlock here in California. Tigers trying to do something about that in the 2nd inning. Outside fastball, 1-1 the count on him. Texas and Baltimore tied 1-1 there in the 7th inning. Here's the set. Here's a pitch. And the slider is wide. Make it a 2-1 count. Ron LeFlore waits on deck. Frost has slowed up his pitching pace a little bit with that man at first base. There's a foul off the mask of Otaggio, the plate umpire. This umpire who works for the outside chest protector. Most of the newcomers to the league, the fellows who've come in the last couple of years, work with the inside chest protector, but Otaggio is an exception to that. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. No score, 2nd inning, man at first base. And Trammell swings and missed a fly ball down the right field line. It's going foul. Chased by Bostock. He can't get to it. Hit right about a foot or so in front of the barrier in foul territory and right. Well, Trammell's going to have to come on back. Rich Hart, who used to live in Lathrop Village, now living in San Diego, longtime Tiger fan, is out here to see the ball game. Got to root the Tigers in today. Trammell waiting on a 2-2 serve again. Here it comes. He swings and fouls it to the screen. That time the fastball, he didn't get around on it. So Mr. Frost goes back for the Rosenbag again. Jackson trying to keep the runner close at first base with the right-hand hitter up there. He'll do that. And Trammell waits. Here it comes. He fouls another one away. This one in the dugout. Ralph Hoff handles that one. No score in the 2nd inning in Anaheim. Trammell continuing to foul off pitches. Here comes another one, and he takes this one wide. That'll make it a full count on him. Tigers on this trip have won 3 and lost 3, playing 500 ball. The first trip they made out here, remember, they won 8 and lost 3. When it goes, the pitch is swung on, hit up the middle. There goes Chalk over, grabs it, and the shortstop fires to first to Jackson in time. Good play by Chalk, ranging to his left, and they're getting the third out. So the Tigers get no runs on 1 hit, 7 errors, and 1 man left. And at the end of 1 1/2 innings, Tigers nothing, Angels nothing.
Well, on this date years ago, in fact 37 years ago, Joe DiMaggio stretched his Major League record batting streak of 56 games when he singled twice and doubled once at Cleveland, and then had a string snap the following night. That was 37 years ago. And on this date today, Pete Rose has extended his hitting streak to 29 games. You may recall Ron LeFlore a couple of years ago had that 30-game hit streak, the longest in 42 years in Tiger history. And it was just 10 years ago today that Denny McClain defeated the A's 4-0 in Oakland, raised his record to 18 wins against 2 defeats on his way to a 31-win season. Last night, Frank Tanana became a 13-game winner, one of 3 in the American League, and that tops at this date in the season 13 wins for this year. Yeah. Now let's pause here for station identification. This is the Detroit Tiger Baseball Network.
You're listening to the great voice of the Great Lakes, WJR Detroit Radio 76, a service of Capital Cities Communications.
Well, here's a gentleman who's done a good job here in California this year, Ron Jackson. He's been up among the leading hitters all season, batting .309 at the moment. Big, strong right-hand hitter. Facing Jack Billingham, who shut the Californians down 1-2-3 in the first inning. He serves in a curve over for a strike called on Ron. They picked him up in the 71 draft, number 2 choice in that draft. There's a curveball in too close from Billingham. 1-1 they count on Ron Jackson. Plays third base and outfield as well as first. Tiger outfield is around the left on him, and the infield is deep. Billingham winds, delivers, Jackson fouls one to the screen. For some reason earlier in the season, and Paul and I commented on this a couple of times, that Jackson was always listed in the batting leaders as playing with a Cleveland team. And that happened day after day. There's a pitch in too close, it almost hit him. 2-2 the count. That was the hardest that Billingham's thrown so far. Baylor and Rudi are scheduled to follow in this inning. Jackson takes the curve wide. The count is gone to 2-2. A lot of unprotected seats in the grandstand here. In fact, most of them are. Here's the pitch. Swing and a foul that will be back into the seats. Just to the right of the screen. Nobody out. Billingham, the one-time Cincinnati Reds pitcher, going to work. Winds and delivers. It is a strike. Oh, he sits there like the house by the side of the road and watch that one go by. The second strikeout, Billingham has spanned the leadoff man in each inning. Here's the man who's always a long ball threat, Don Baylor. Baylor hitting .263, 21 home runs, and 53 runs batted in. Right-hander looks at a strike called. Outfield deep to left on Don Baylor. And he takes a very wide curve. 1-1 the count on him. One out, none on. Billingham coming right back. Delivers. It is off the corner. 2-1 the count on Baylor. Taylor swings at a bounding ball to short. Trammell has a nice hop for the first and plenty of time. There are two down in the Angels' second. And Joe Rudi will be the batter. Mr. Rudi batting .221, 5 home runs, had 34 runs batted in for Joe. Steps out now, takes a little practice set, ready to get back in. We've got a National League final for you. Pittsburgh in 10 innings beats San Diego 3-2. There's a cut and a miss on a sidearm curve. Whitson, the winner, and the Fingers the loser. I believe Whitson was the winner last night. Dargill had a home run for the Pirates.
Yeah, Whitson gave up. He was a losing pitcher.
He was the loser?
Yep.
I remember he was on that score sheet. There's a ball low. 1-1 the count.
He was in there when they squeezed in the run in the 11th inning.
2 down, nobody on. California batting. No score, second inning. Rudi at the plate. Billingham ready to go to work again. But it is. Here's a cut in the miss. Changed up a little bit on that. Took a little something off his curve. Joe Rudi's father from Norway. And most of the scouts passed him up when he was a youngster because he had a broken hand. But the A's scout stuck with him. There's a ball outside. Don Freese signed him for the Kansas City Ball Club, the old Kansas City team. He didn't let that broken hand deter him. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Joe Rudi. Very wide. 3-2 the count on Joe. Outfield deep to left, the infield back all the way around. We've got a scoreless tie here in the second. Rudi out of the batter's box, now getting back in there to wait on the full count delivery from Billingham. Here it comes. He swings, and there's a drive to deep left field. Bouncing up toward the seat, and it is into the seat for a two-base hit. Rudi kept on going. It's Luciano, the umpire, grabbed him. Gave him a little stand-up tackle to get him at second base. That is the first hit. A ground rule double for Joe Rudi. Carney Lansford, who was the hitting hero last night in the California victory, steps up now. Each team with no runs and one hit. Man on second for California, they're 2 down. Lansford batting .296. He's a right-hand batter. Outfield the left on him. And Billingham delivers. It is a ball outside. He pulled away from that curve as it broke over. Carney is his first name, C-A-R-N-E-Y. Carney Lansford. First year in the big league, and he's having a good one. Billingham, the Texas runner, Rudi at second. Now delivers, and it's a strike to Lansford, 1-1. Rudi hit was very hard hit. It was a line drive. Been up in the air, it could have been a home run, but it was a low liner that bounced in the seat. Billingham's breaking ball in a little close. 2-1 now to count on Lansford. A man from San Jose. West California is the largest producer of big league talent these days. They've outstripped all the other states. Here's the pitch. Swing and a pop-up between home and first. May is under it in foul territory. Makes the catch. And the side retires. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 man left at the end of 2. California nothing, Detroit nothing.
Test your memory, fans, on another question in the Labatt Baseball Trivia Quiz. Here goes. Name the player who holds the Major League record for the most hits in an extra inning game. Try to remember, and while you do, here's something else to remember. Yes, fans, the best beer Canada brews is here, Labatt. It's imported for your special time, shipped fresh to you with pride. Labatt, the Clearwater Blue Sky Tasted Canada beer, brewed in Canada since 1828. Here's your answer. July 10th, 1932 was a banner day for Cleveland's John Burnett. On that day, in an 18-inning game, Burnett had 9 base hits, 7 singles, and 2 doubles. If you remember that, then you just had a big day, too, in the Labatt Baseball Trivia Quiz. Brought to you by Labatt Importers, Amherst, New York. This is Jim Garrett. Leader Dogs for the Blind provides for all eligible blind people. For information, write Leader Dogs for the Blind, Rochester, Michigan.
No score in the third inning in Anaheim, and Ron LeFlore will lead it off. He started the ball game with a base on balls, got all the way to third in that opening inning, but the Tigers couldn't push him home. The game is scoreless as we move to the third. LeFlore, Whitaker, and Staub, the first 3 scheduled batters against Dave Frost. Each team with 1 hit. The Tiger hit belongs to Mankowski. Rudi has the only hit for California. Oh, the pitchers dominated the action so far. They did that last night as the Tigers were blanked by Banana. It was 6 in too close from Frost. It was his breaking ball. Ball 1, the count on Ron. He looks at a fastball. That one hit the strike zone. 1-1 on the Tiger leadoff man. Now the right-hander Frost goes into motion, delivers. There's a bounding ball, deep shortstop. Dropped by Chalk, throw to first, not in time. LeFlore beats it out. A leg hit for Ronnie. Chalk had to go far to his right on that ball, into the hole between third and short. Made a good play on it, but he just couldn't combat the speed of LeFlore. Man on first, nobody down. Lou Whitaker, who bounced to third his first time up, steps in again. LeFlore trying to get off the bag at first base. Jackson again will hold with him. They've got Lansford in close at third in case Whitaker wants to knock down that way. And Frost tosses one over to keep LeFlore close at third. No score. We're in the third inning in Anaheim. Set by Frost. He pitches. There's a bunt to a third of the roll foul. Lansford in very close. He was anticipating that maneuver. Well, the Tigers will be back home this weekend, beginning Friday night with a twilight doubleheader with the Angels. They'll have a 5-game set with California. Friday night, Saturday afternoon, a doubleheader Sunday. Sunday will be pre-helmet day. And the pitch. He squares the bunt and takes the ball wide. 1-1 on Whitaker. There's a 12-game homestand facing the Tigers when they get back. Angels, the A's, the Orioles, and the Mariners all come to town. Whitaker looks at the strike called, and he's got a 1-2 count against him now. No score, third inning. The Tigers trying to break through the scoreless barrier here in Anaheim. Frost ready to work. Delivers. Here's a check swing. Down. Almost hit by the bat of Whitaker. Fell up against Whitaker, then spun around in almost a complete circle. 2-2 the count. Staub waits on deck. Frost checking his sign now with Brian Downing his catcher. Here's the set, here's the pitch. It is a ball low and outside. Full count. And they're going to put a new ball in play for the right-hander Frost. A lot of good young pitchers coming up to the major leagues, developing quickly. Said that a pitcher can make it quicker than any other player in the big league. catcher is the position that usually finds the most difficult adjustment. Well, Frost is about ready. LeFlore's got a lead. He goes. There's a pitch swung on and fouled away. Well, he took off on 3-2 with nobody out, but the pitch was fouled off by Whitaker. To an advantage for a base runner to have a left-hand hitter to plate. Catcher has a little more of a throwing problem with the left-hand batter up there than with a right-hand hitter. Now the set, there he goes again. The pitch is swung on and fouled off again. About the same spot upstairs. And the gentleman from Bakersfield caught that one. 4 rows in the third deck. Good hot race in the Western Division in the American League. California leading by 2. Kansas City, Texas, Oakland, right in there getting in the battle. Now LeFlore edges off, draws a throw, gets back safely, and still a 3-2 count on Whitaker. No score in the third inning. Ron has hit safely now in 11 straight games, including this one. There he goes. The pitch is in too close. It's the base on ball. Whitaker draws a walk, and Staub will be the batter. And Paul, take a look at that bat boy. He's about 1.5 feet taller than any Tiger player. He is a big one. I think they got a local basketball star to come out and be the bat boy. They're going to have to graduate him one of these days. Here's Rusty at the plate now. He popped the shortstop his only trip. Tigers have a scoring chance. The game is without a score right now, but the Tigers have runners at second and first and nobody down. And the pitch is swung on. There's a drive to right field. Deep. Bostock going back. It may be. It is out of here. A home run for Rusty Staub. The Tigers have the lead. 3-0. Number 12, and he's in dozens for Dusty Rusty. Here comes LeFlore crossing the plate. Whitaker behind him, and here comes Staub. 3-0 Detroit. Not another Superior home run. Staub's homer earns him a free case of those crispy, fresh Superior potato chips. Sends on a case of Superior potato chips to the Metropolitan Agency for Retarded Children. Over the right field fence, back into the parking lot. A home run for Staub, and the Tigers jump in front 3-0 on this Sunday afternoon in Anaheim. Here's Jason Thompson to face Frost. First time up, Jason was safe on the air, but his shortstop chalk. And he takes the fastball outside. 3-0 Tigers. A single, a walk, and a home run. Base is empty and nobody out. He looks at a curve that floats over. It's out of a change-up curve. 1-1 on Jason. Here it comes. He takes very wide, and they count now 2-1. Now the motion by Frost, he delivers. Jason looks at a changeup that floats in high. 3 balls and 1 strike. They're beginning to stir a little bit now down in the California bullpen. About 1.5 miles away down in left field. Here's the windup in the fifth. He swings on the ground ball. It's sharp into deep second. Grich is over to his right, has it. Fires to Jackson in time, and there's 1 down.
That's Ken Brett beginning to throw down there. Ken was the probable for tomorrow night, but with Canera now installed as the pitcher for tomorrow night, Brett is loosening in the bullpen.
Here's Mr. Kemp coming to bat. Steve Kemp, who hit into a 4th out to Grich at second base, his only trip. Faces David Frost. Ground ball to short, hit hard, and gobbled up by Chalk. He fires over to Jackson in time. It was close, and there are 2 down. Milt May stepping up now. Milt fly to right, his first trip. Rusty Staub now has increased his RBI total to 71. With 3-on-1 blow here in this inning. 3-0 Detroit. There's a line shot to right. It'll be a hit for May. Bostock goes to the glove side, grabs it on one hop and fires it into Bobby Grich. And the Tigers get their third hit in this inning and their fourth of the game. Here's the man who got the first one. Nope. Here's Tim Corcoran coming up. He bounced out to the pitcher the first time he batted. Hot and sunny in Southern California this afternoon, about what you'd expect here in Anaheim. Boss pitching to Corky. The outfield is straight up on him. There's a ground ball to first. Jackson gloves it, tags the bag in the front of Corcoran. The side retired. But the Tigers break through with 3 runs on 3 hits, 0 errors, and 1 man left. We go to the last half, the third. Detroit 3 and the Angels nothing. The Tigers have been scoring runs to Jack Billingham, as we mentioned at the start of the broadcast. He beat the Yankees 8-4. Then the last time out, he beat the Indians 13-3, and now they've staked into a 3-0 lead over the Angels here in Anaheim. As the Californians bat in the third, Billingham will face Chalk, Downing, and then the top of the batting order, Miller. Dave Chalk, right-hand batting shortstop at the plate, hitting .256. And the Billingham's slot is outside, ball 1. Chalk cuts it for a fly ball to center field deep, going back LeFlore. He's there. It's in his glove for the out. Second outfield fly off California bats. Both of them caught by LeFlore. Here's Brian Downing, the catcher who bats number 9. Billingham looking over the right-hand bat. He's hitting .247. And there's a strike on the breaking pitch that caught the inside corner on Downing. Downing's played the outfield, third base, as well as catching. There's a strike. You may remember that he made his debut against the Tigers as the third baseman. Turned himself catching a foul ball. Well, we got a final. Cincinnati beat the Mets 9-2. Hume the winner, Coble the loser. Foster hit his 19th of the season. There's a swing and a miss. He struck him out. That was a bad pitch, but he went for it. And it's a strikeout per inning so far for Billingham, a total of 3. 2 down, and here's Rick Miller. And Six Young also hit a Cincinnati home run today. They had 33,519 at Cincinnati to see the Reds win that game. 3-0 the Tigers lead here. Here's Miller. He struck out his first time up. Left-hand batting center fielder. It's a ball, though. Rick feels real good now that he has won a starting assignment on the ball club. He stuck him out there, and they're sticking with him. There's a ball outside. 2-0 to count on Miller. Boston with a couple of runs in the 7th and 8th innings of each. Minnesota 5-3. Eckes for the winner, and Harrison takes it on. That's the first of 2 games. Bounding ball off the glove of Trammell, and Miller is saved at first base. Trammell tried to short hop the ball with a backhand, glove hand stab, and he didn't get the hop he was looking for. And he scores a single. Tough play for Allen. And now the batter will be Bobby Grich. That's the second hit off Billingham. Grich stands away from the plate, likes to move into that pitch. There's a fly ball lifted to the right. Should be caught. Corcoran is under it now, waiting. He has it, and the side retired. No runs, one hit, no errors, one man left for California. It's the end of 3. The Tigers 3, the Angels nothing.
When I traded in my old wagon for an economy one, all my buddies said I'd have to give up a lot. You know, ride, room, and comfort. Well, I didn't give up. I got this Plymouth Valari wagon. I sure didn't give up big car rides. I didn't give up room for 6. I didn't give up comfort. Oh, I did give up one thing when I bought my Valari wagon. A lot of trips to the gas station.
Don't compromise when you economize. Although your mileage may vary, the EPA rates a 1-barrel, 6-cylinder Valari wagon with manual transmission at 25 miles per gallon highway, 18 city. Don't give up. Get a Plymouth Valari wagon, America's first choice of wagons over the past 2 years.
For a great value on Plymouth Valari, see your greater Detroit Chrysler Plymouth dealer. Radio 76 salutes John Mahler, recently promoted to Assistant Vice President of the Civic Affairs and Marketing Division of the National Bank of Detroit.
Tigers lead them 3-0. The California pitcher Frost about ready to go to work. Another gentleman ready to go to work is Paul Carey.
All right, Ernie. Phil singled sharply to center his first time up. Tigers lead it 3-0 here in the top of the 4th inning. One swing of Rusty Staub's bat did it. There's a cut and a miss by Phil Mankowski. He'll be followed by Alan Trammell and Ron LeFlore in the 4th inning. Big Dave Frost walks fair, hasn't struck out anybody. He slips a fastball outside. 1 ball, 1 strike on Mankowski. Not a cloud in the sky. A little bit of smog here, however. Bill takes a curve, a slow one on the inside corner. He waited and took it for a strike. 1-2 on Manko. Center fielder Miller is shading toward left. There's the pitch to Mankowski. It's outside. They call it the Big A, and they've got their scoreboard. The symbol of the Angels and the stadium is in the form of an A with a halo. There's a swing and a miss. Mankowski strikes out. The first strikeout for Frost. That'll bring up Alan Trammell. Trammell grounded out to his counterpart, short, his first time up. Hitting .277. So the kid combination down there at second. Trammell and Whitaker done so well in the field and at the plate. There's a foul back to behind the plate on the screen. The rookie shortstop now playing every day and hitting .277. A rookie second baseman hitting over 300. Frost into the windup. He kicks and delivers. It's on the inside corner. Strike 2 on Trammell. Frost gives you a lot of legs. He's got a deceptive motion on the mound. Does not use the fastball much. He uses the off-speed material and then sets you up with a fastball. There was a fastball and it was outside. 1-2, the count on Trammell. 1 out, nobody on, top of the 4th inning. They're playing him straight away. The pitch to Allen. He check swings, bounces one back to the mound. Frost has it, throws to first, he's out. Trammell trying to hold off in the swing. A little snapper right back to the pitcher. Now they're 2 down in the Tiger 4th inning, and that'll bring up Ron LeFlore. Ron has walked and collected an infield single, extending his hit streak to 11 games, upping his average now to .286. It's been as low as .259 a couple of times this season. wind up and the pitch. Inside, he moved away. Ron was looking over my game-by-game stats the other night on the flight from Seattle to California, noting where he began the upswing. As they drive down the right field line, it could be, it is a foul ball. Ooh! Right on the line, or just outside it, according to Mr. Shylock. LeFlore not getting around, lining one, just foul down the right field corner. On the 26th of June, LeFlore was hitting .259, and he has brought that average up steadily ever since. In this 11-game hit streak, in the previous 10 games, he had 1 4-hit game and 1 3-hit game. There's a pitch inside to him. 2 balls and a strike on Ron. 2 down, bases empty in the Tiger 4th inning. The windup and the pitch. He gets a called strike that time. The curve is in above the knees. LeFlore continues to lead the league in runs scored with 69, and picking up 1 here today. The pitch to Ron. He swings and bounces one down the third baseline foul. Let's pause for station identification. This is the Detroit Tiger Baseball Network.
J.P. McCarthy provides the go power for your morning drive here on WJR Detroit Radio 76.
LeFlore back in the batter's box, 2-2 count on him. Here's the pitch. A little low that time, full count. Well, they beat the Dodgers in the opening game 3-2. Dodgers lead the nightcap 3-1 after 2.5 innings. The pitch swung on a bouncer toward third. It is foul just outside the bag. Fielded there by Lansford. At St. Louis, the Giants beat the Cards. The other way around. The Cardinals won at 9-4 in the opening game. The Giants lead 2-0 in the third inning of the nightcap. 3 doubleheaders in the National League on this Sunday. 1 in the American and 1 night game in the American League, but it's not at Texas. It's at Seattle in the Kingdome. The Indians playing up there. There's a ground ball to the right side. Jackson, the first baseman, makes the play unassisted on LeFlore. And that's all for the Tigers. They go down for the first time in the ball game 1-2-3. After 3.5 innings, Tigers 3, the Angels nothing.
There's one thing that applies to them all, whether they're old or new. You can't buy that plug for any kind of carbon caffeine. You can't buy that plug no matter what carbon caffeine. Caffeine's number 1 in the world, number 1 in the car. Some folks don't mind working in a big place, being part of a team. I prefer just me and that engine, nobody in between. You can't buy better plug for any kind of carbon caffeine. Buy that one no matter what carbon caffeine. Caffeine's number 1 in the world and number 1 in the car. No, you can't buy that one for any kind of carbon caffeine. You can't buy that one no matter what carbon caffeine. No, you can't.
As usual, wherever the Tigers go, they've got a lot of fans following them around. This being a very frequented spot for tourists in the summertime, you'll find Tiger fans every time they come to Anaheim. Among those here enjoying Tiger baseball in Anaheim, Brian and Wendy Cork from Waterford, Michigan. Located about 2 miles from Disneyland right here. There's a strike called on Lyman Bostock. Now, Lyman beginning a 5-year contract with the Angels, reported to be about $2.3 million. Swing and a miss. 2 strikes on Bostock. Originally, they had all sorts of reports that would make Bostock the highest paid player in the business, over $3 million, but the Angels finally leaked some information letting them know that it wasn't nearly that much. There's a bunt toward third of beauty. Billingham comes off, makes the play too late. Well, Bostock looked bad on the first 2 pitches from Billingham, and then he laid down a perfect bunt. There goes a frisbee sailing down onto the third base line. Almost hit Milt May. Milt didn't see it coming. So a bunt hit for Bostock, leading off the 4th inning. Hit number 3 for the Angels. The batter will be Ron Jackson, who struck out his first time up. Jackson hitting .308. A right-hand batter. Tigers in double play depth. Bostock with excellent speed on at first, lengthening his lead now. Here's the pitch. Swung on a hard smash to Trammell. 1 hop over to 2. Whitaker back to first, double play. That was really quick. That ball was hit like a shot on 1 hop right at Alan Trammell. It's ready-made for the Tigers to turn the double play. Now there are 2 down in the 4th inning. Bases empty, and the batter will be Don Baylor. Baylor grounded out to Trammell his first time up. That's the 92nd double play for the Tigers. Ground ball past Trammell into center field. That ball just past Billingham in his motion. He tried to flag it down. Couldn't. And Trammell made a dive. Couldn't come up with it. Just out of his reach. So a single for Baylor. With 2 down here in the 4th inning, and the batter will be Rudi, who doubled into the left field corner first time up. Tigers lead it 3-0 in the bottom of the 4th. Second game of a 3-game series that extends to Monday night. Rudi hitting .225. Close stance at the plate. There's the set. They pitch. Set swing. It's outside. Well, at Yankee Stadium, the Royals moved out to a 3-0 lead and held on to beat New York 3-1. Otis hit a 2-run homer in the very first inning of that game. For Kansas City, Nettles hit his 16th for New York. Gura, the winner. Beatty started, lost it. There's a strike called on Rudi. Now, the Kansas Cityans beat New York 3-1. That was a single game today. Baylor at first with a 2-out single. Each club with 4 hits. The Tigers lead it 3-0. The pitch from Billingham. Just outside. 2-1 now on Rudi. Big Jack has really been a bonus for the Tigers this year. Jack has won 7 games, dropped 5, winning his last 2 decisions. He sets and delivers. Baylor goes. It's swung on. There's a base hit to right field. 1 hop to Corcoran, headed for third is Baylor. The throw goes to second. Runners at first and third, and 2 outs. Rudi lining one to right behind the runner Baylor. The Angels have collected 3 hits in this inning. They have yet to score. 2 down. The batter is Carney Lansford. Lansford, good-looking rookie third baseman for the Angels. Brother has just been signed a high draftee in the June draft. Carney takes a lot of quick practice cuts. Here's the pitch. There's a ground ball past the mound to second. Whitaker has it. Underhand scramble for the 4th at second on Rudi, and that's all for the Angels in the 4th. No runs, 3 hits, no errors, and the pair left on base. After 4 innings of play, it's still the Tigers 3, the Angels nothing. Whitaker leading off the Tiger fifth inning. Lou is 0 for 1. He walked his last time up and was on board along with Ron LeFlore when Rusty Staub hit that 3-run homer in the third inning. The difference in the ball game. Not nearly as large a crowd here this afternoon as was on hand last night. But they've gone over the million mark here today in Anaheim. The first pitch to Lou is taken wide for ball one. Only needed between 4,000 and 5,000 to break the million mark here in attendance. There's the windup and the pitch to Sweet Lou. He swings, rips one past the mound. Deep at second is Grich. He's got it. The throw, he's out. One away in the Tiger fifth inning. Frost seems to have settled down a bit. He has retired the last 5 Tigers in a row. Here's Rusty. Staub has now hit safely in 13 in his last 14 games. Batting average of 295. 71 runs batted in with his 3-run homer today. And he takes a pitch too tight for ball one. Well, this is Lamp Finish Day in Diamond Bar, California. Got some folks from Diamond Bar on hand here, representing the Diamond Bar Board of Commerce. Tiger catcher not in the lineup at the moment. The pitch swung on. There's a base hit to right field by Staub. Waited on the breaking ball and lined it to right. Staub is on with his second straight hit, number 5 for the Tigers, and it brings up Jason Thompson. Jason, so far today, is 0 for 2. Safe on an error by Chalk in the first inning. He grounded out the second in the third inning. The first pitch is taken for a ball. Now the stretch, the pitch. Swung on and fouled in the dirt at the plate. 1-1 on Thompson. Staub at first, 1 away in the Tiger fifth inning. 3-0 Detroit in front. Both Dick Enberg and Don Drysdale taking this warm Sunday off. From the Angels microphones to our right, Al Wisk, joined by Steve Bailey over there. There's a foul fly back into the stand behind third. A 1-2 count on Thompson. Enberg signing a long-term network television contract fairly recently, and probably will not be doing a day-by-day job for the Angels in the future. Now Frost is ready. The pitch. Half swing by Thompson. Did he go? They appeal to third. Nope, he checked in time. The fans won't like it. Frost thought he had him out. Put it down him. Lemay is now 2-2 on Thompson. Staub at first, 1 away here in the Tiger fifth inning. Here goes up. The fact that Pete Rose has extended his hitting streak to 29 games, put it on the board. There's a fly ball to right field. It's deep. Going back is Bostock at the wall. He leaps. He makes the catch. Here's the throw back to first. Staub hustles, gets back safely. Lyman Bostock just took a home run away from Jason Thompson. Leaping high against the padded bench near the Tiger bullpen. Bostock threw that in the running of the glove and hauled it back down. He was up above the fence to haul that one in, and Thompson is deprived of a home run. So there are 2 out now with Staub still at first, and the batter will be Steve Kemp. There's a strike on the Kemp. Had the pleasure of meeting Steve's mother and grandmother here last evening following the ball game. His grandmother comes to every appearance of Steve down here in Anaheim. He swings and fouls this one behind the plate. And she is disabled and in the wheelchair. Two strikes on Kemp, 2 out with Staub at first base. Crowd still buzzing about that catch by Lyman Bostock that took a home run away from Thompson. Here's the stretch. The pitch to Kemp. He hits a foul on a check swing behind the plate. Kemp is 0 for 2 so far in this game. He's bounced into a fourth and grounded out to short. The Tigers are going to see a rookie make his first major league appearance tomorrow night. John Canera, Caneira. Just been called up to fill the spot vacated by the disqualification of Chris Knapp. There's a pitch. A half swing by Kemp, and they'll appeal again. No, he checked. The crowd won't like that call either. Baker's scheduled to go tomorrow night for the Tigers. Now Frost ready, holds. Staub goes, the pitch is swung on and popped up to right center field. Under it is Miller. He shields his eyes, makes the catch, and that's all for the Tigers. For Detroit in the 5th inning, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, a man left. And after 4.5 innings, it's still the Tigers 3, the Angels nothing. Bottom of the 5th inning at the Big A in Anaheim, it'll be Dave Chalk leading off against Jack Billingham. He'll be followed by Brian Downing and Rick Miller. Here's the first pitch of the inning. It's a strike called on Chalk. Chalk, right-hand batter. Well, Billingham has done most of his pitching for the Tigers away from home this year. The pitch is wide for a ball, 1-1. In fact, Jack has pitched only 5 times at Tiger Stadium this season. Curve is fouled back into the stands. 1-2, the count on Chalk. Like even further stats, Billingham in day game has won 3 and lost none. Here's the pitch from Big Jack. He swings. There's a base hit to left field. Chalk gets the line drive between Mankowski and Trammell. That's hit number 6 for the Angels. And the batter will be Brian Downing. What a scrapper Downing is. Al Gallagher out here called him Dirty Al. I could call Downing the same way. He gets that uniform so dirty so quickly. The character in Phoenix, Mud Pie or something like that, seems to have a little cloud of dust around him all the time. Pitch is low and outside. Ball 1 on Downing. Was struck out by Billingham his first time up. Chalk at first, nobody out. Here's the pitch. Strike. Puts one in above the knees. 1-1 on Downing. Browning's first major league hit was against the Tigers, and it was an inside the park homer in Detroit. Inside, he's buckled out of the way of that one. Some rhythmic applause. Sounds like the Tom-Tom man from Cleveland is here. There's a set, the 1-1 pitch. There's a line drive over the box towards second. Whitaker touches the bag, throws the first double play. Soft line drive. Billingham threw up his arms, tried to grab it on flight. It got through his arms, and right near the bag, it took one hop, and Whitaker came in, touched the bag, and completed the double play. Second Tiger double play of the ball game. And it's the second time it's happened when the leadoff man reached for the Angels. There's a pitch outside. Ball one on Rick Miller. Left-hand hitter from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Swing, and it is. Miller hitting a solid .283, 1 for 2 off Billingham today. Here's a pitch to him. It's outside. Miller taking a shot at the free agent market during the winter. Frustrated a number of years at Boston, unable to play on a regular basis. He swings, bounces one to second. Whitaker scoops it up over to Thompson. He's out. That's all for the Angels in the fifth inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left. After 5, it's still the Tigers 3, California nothing.
This game is being brought to you by Labatt. For beer at its finest, call for Labatt. By Marathon dealers and distributors, people who've got together to do it better. By the Get It Detroit Chrysler Plymouth dealers who've got Horizon, Motor Trend's Car of the Year. By Champion Spark Plugs. You can't buy a better plug than Champion. By the Detroit News. For the first good news in sports every morning, read the new Detroit News AM edition. By City National Bank, where you can get combo checking. And by Little Caesars Pizza, a winner any way you slice it. Now, more Tiger baseball action with Ernie Howell and Paul Carey.
There's Milt May to lead off the 6th inning for the Tigers. 3-0. The Tigers lead thanks to a 3-run homer by Rusty Staub in the 3rd inning. Dave Frost on the mound. The pitch is taken for a strike by Milt. Very warm day here at Anaheim. Word from Dick Nelson, the engineer for California, 88 degrees at game time. Ground ball to deep first. Jackson makes the play, and he'll race to the bag to beat May. May is out unassisted to first. 1 away in the Tigers' 6th inning, and Tim Corcoran will be the batter. Looking at the scores in the American League, a doubleheader at Boston, the only doubleheader in the American League, and the Red Sox won the opener from Minnesota 5-3 as Eckersley won his 11th game. Roy Harrison, remember he was in spring training with the Tigers, was let go, wound up at Toledo, and brought up by Minnesota. He took the loss. Corcoran takes the strike. Second game pitchers Erickson for Minnesota and Wright going for Boston. At New York, Kansas City beat the Yankees 3-1. Gura, the winner over Beatty. At Baltimore, they're in the 10th inning now. 1-1 tie, Texas and the Orioles. There's a fly ball to right center field. It'll drop in for a hit for Corcoran. In to pick it up is Bostock. So Corky gets his first hit of the ball game. That's hit number 6 for Detroit. And it'll bring up Phil Mankowski with a single and a strikeout. And John Madlock pitching for Texas in that game at Baltimore. Stanhouse relieved Kerrigan in the 8th inning. At Milwaukee, the Brewers kept on rolling. They came up with a 10-1 victory over the White Sox. Travers, the winner over Stone. Toronto playing up the coast at Oakland, 1-0 in the 3rd inning there. Clancy for Toronto. Broberg for the A's. Called strike 1 on Mankowski. Got a night game tonight with Cleveland playing at Seattle. John Mayberry has homered for Toronto's only run to give them that 1-0 lead at Oakland in the 2nd inning. Here's the pitch to Manko. He checks it low. In the National League, three doubleheaders. Opener at Pittsburgh saw the Pirates beat San Diego 3-2. Second game, Pirates lead 1-0 after one. At Chicago, the Cubs beat the Dodgers 3-2 in the opener, and in the second game, it's 3-2 Dodgers after 5 innings. There's a ground ball to second. They might get two. Grich goes to second for one. The relay double play. Well, the Tigers are out in the sixth inning. No runs, one hit, no errors, nobody left on base after 5.5 innings. It's still the Tigers 3, the Angels nothing. Now, before California bats in the sixth inning, let's pause for station identification. This is the Detroit Tigers Baseball Network.
You're listening to Detroit Tiger Baseball on the great voice of the Great Lakes, WJR Detroit, Radio 76.
It'll be Bobby Grich leading off the sixth inning against Jack Billingham. Looking back at that National League scoreboard at St. Louis, the Cardinals beat the Giants 9-4 in the opener of a doubleheader. Giants lead now 4-0 in the fifth inning of the nightcap. Montreal beat Houston in a single game 6-1. At Atlanta, the Braves were beaten by the Phillies 4-2. And at Cincinnati, the Reds trimmed the Mets 9-2. There's a swing and a miss by Grich. He tried to check it, but he'd gone too far. 0-2 for Bobby. He's back out of the batter's box, wiping off some perspiration. Billingham winds, delivers. Outside. Now, here's the pitch from Big Jack. He swings and misses on the breaking ball. Got him fooled badly on that one. Grich hitting .233. Billingham ready, the 1-2 delivery. There's a fly ball lifted to right field. Corcoran going back. He's there now. Waits, makes the catch. Hit pretty well to the opposite field. One down on the sixth inning. That'll bring up Lyman Bostock, who deprived Jason Thompson of a home run, a 2-run homer in the fifth inning. It was not a home run because Bostock leaped above the fence near the Tiger bullpen and hauled it down. 1-2 for Bostock. He had a bunt hit in the fourth inning. He takes the pitch a little low for ball one. Lyman's father, Lyman Sr., was a player for the Birmingham Black Barons. A number of years ago, quite a ball player. There's a bunt over the mound, charged by Whitaker. No play at first. A hit for Bostock again. Took a high hop. He bunted in front of the plate. Took a high hop over the head of Billingham, and his follow-through, Jack couldn't reach it. Whitaker, playing deep at second, charged him, but he didn't have a play at first. So Bostock has picked up a pair of bunt singles. And here's Ron Jackson, 0-2. He has struck out and hit into a double play. Bostock's father was a first baseman in the old Negro League. And at one time, he played with Willie Mays. Well, Willie got to the majors. Oh, Jackson is hit by the pitch. He turned his back. That ball escaped Billingham, hit in the back. As he swiveled around, he got hit in the lower back, it appears. Dropped down the first. Billingham in a spot of trouble now with 2 on and 1 down here in the sixth inning. Bostock at second. Jackson at first, having been hit by the pitch, and Don Baylor will be the batter. 1-2 for Baylor. He singled to center his last time up. Second time of the game, the Angels have had 2 on at the same time. Here's the pitch. It's a little low. Ball 1 on Baylor. 3-0. The Tigers lead here in the bottom of the sixth inning. The Angels threatening, though, with 2 on and 1 down. Steve Kemp loosening in the bullpen for Detroit. The look to second. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed by Baylor. John Hiller still out, not with the Tigers here in Anaheim. Remember, he pulled that muscle in his side, in his right side, delivering a pitch at Texas in that 13th inning of the last game before the All-Star break. Here's the pitch. There's a pop-up out toward first. Thompson with his glasses down. Whitaker fighting it. Now Thompson makes the catch. Lou lost it completely. Looked like he was coming over to help, and he started skittering out of the way because he couldn't find it. So there's two down now, and the batter will be Joe Rudi. Rudi is a perfect 2 for 2 off Billingham. A double and a single. Jack has struck out 3. He hasn't walked anybody. Had the fifth batter here in the 6th inning. Rudi with that closed stance lays the bat back to the side of the shoulder. The pitch outside and low. Gets stopped by May. 3-0 Tigers in the last of the 6th inning. Jackson at first, Bostock at second. The pitch is swung on and missed by Rudi. He changed up on him that time, and Rudi was way out in front. Now, former Tiger Jerry Sutherland was on hand here last evening, together with some of his old Tiger teammates. Jerry released earlier in the season by the St. Louis Cardinals. It looked good for them this spring. Here's the set. The 1-1 pitch. Strike call. He got the curve just in above the knees. Rudi took a quick look at plate umpire Vic Voltaggio. 1-2 count on. Buchholz still busy in the bullpen for Detroit. 2 on, 2 out. Billingham taking a little extra time into the stretch. The 1-2 pitch. Way wide. 2-2. Well, this is one ballpark that won't have a stocking cap day, I'm sure. They don't need a jacket day out here either. There's a set by Jack. The 2-2 pitch. Rudi swings, bounces a foul down the third base line. Now the count remains 2-2 on Joe Rudi. Outfield shading to left on the right-hand hitting Rudi. Deep at short. Now Billingham ready to work. The 2-2 pitch. Rudi swings and misses, struck him out. And that's all for the Angels in the 6th inning. Billingham with a fine job of pitching. Works out of trouble. No runs. 1 hit. A hit batsman, no errors, and 2 Angels left on base. After 6 innings of play, it's still the Tigers 3, the Angels 0.
Our news. President Carter says he's pleased, very pleased, with the opening day of the Seven Nation Economic Summit Conference in Bonn, West Germany. Carter called today's discussions very frank and open, saying the world at large will be pleased with the results. A federal government investigator said today that 2 fuels, liquefied natural gas and liquefied petroleum gas, are being shipped by trucks through many American cities, and that they're nearly as dangerous as the gas that exploded in Spain last week. The Republican National Committee, which will meet in Detroit Wednesday, is expected to receive a pitch from some city officials to hold its 1980 political convention in Detroit. Former Detroit City Council President Carl Levin says his latest poll continues to show him leading his opposition for the U.S. Senate Democratic nomination in the upcoming August primary. Syria and Lebanon's right-wing Christians today refused Lebanese President Ilyas Sarkis's call for peace. Detroit's temperature 77 degrees. This is Barry Smith, WJR News, reporting.
Rusty Staub 3-run homer still the difference in this ball game. It's 3-0 Detroit as the Tigers come to bat against Dave Frost here in the 7th inning. Frost settling down has been the effective pitcher most of the way for California here today. And Ken Brett up and throwing early in the ball game, but nobody else since. Alan Trammell will lead off the 7th inning and back to the mic for the play-by-play. Here's Ernie Harwell.
Thanks, Paul K. Hi again, everybody. 0 for 2 for Alan Trammell. And Frost delivers. Here's a bounding ball right back to Frost. Knocks it down, picks it up, throw to first. He got him. 1 up and 1 down, and LeFlore will be the batter. Well, we just heard there's a great Tiger fan up in Traverse City fishing with these youngsters. He's also the announcer for the California Angels. Dick Enberg up there on the lakes and tuned in the broadcast and rooting for one of these two teams anyway. Here's LeFlore. He's had a walk, a single, and a bounce to first base. There's a foul fly lifted out of play back at first base. Strike 1 on Ron. David Frost on the mound. He's gone all the way, so is Billingham. It's the difference of that 3-run homer by Staub. He's hit by the pitch. LeFlore is. Hit him in the back. Not a very hard one. Sort of a semi-speed pitch. And LeFlore trots to first base. Here's Whitaker at the plate now. He's had a walk and a couple of bounce outs, the third and the second. In the 3rd inning of the game scoreless, LeFlore single, Whitaker walked, and then the Staub followed with that 3-run homer. That's the ball game right now in the 7th inning, 3-0 Tigers. And Bostock made a brilliant catch of a long drive off the bat of Thompson. Here's a strike call. Runner goes. Throw to second. Not in time. The ball eluded the shortstop short, but Grich backs him up. It's a 0 for Ron LeFlore. And that stolen base sends a $25 gift certificate from Acme Sporting Goods to the Royal Oak Boys Club. At all 3 Acme stores, you get it for less, or they give you back the difference. Man on second, strike 1, the count on Whitaker. Tigers lead at 3-0, 7th inning, 1 man down. The outfield is straight up on Lou. Left-handed batter takes the credit. They bounding ball to the right side of the infield. Grich goes to the glove side, throws over to first. Whitaker is out, and LeFlore holds at second base. I don't know why, but he held at second. Grich took a look over there, and I think was a little surprised, and then threw to first. LeFlore, incidentally, still leading the league in stolen bases. He has 32 now. Here's Rusty Staub at the plate with 2 out on the man at second base. Frost sets and 50s. There's a curve in on Rusty for a strike call. He popped to short, hit a home run, his 12th of the year, and had a single. And his homer with 2 men on is the game right now. 3-0 Tigers. Time call by Vitaggio, the plate umpire. Rusty steps out for a moment. Thompson waiting on deck. Tim Corcoran again working in the bullpen. Here's the stretch and the pitch on the way. He swings as a high fly ball, short right center. Grich going back, Miller coming in. Miller makes the catch, going between Grich and Bostock to end the inning.
No runs, no hits, no errors, and one man left. We go to the last hour of the seventh. Tigers 3, California nothing.
I bought him a comedy car. Nice little car. Of course, I had to give up big car rides.
I just bought a smaller car, too. I gave up a lot of thousands of them. So with prices going up and up, I figure you got to give up.
Well, I didn't give up. I bought a new Plymouth Volare 4-door, and I didn't give up the things I want. I got the big car ride Frank gave up, the room for 6 Harry gave up, plus the compact economy they didn't give up. So why didn't they buy a Volare? I give up.
No compromise when you economize. Although your mileage may vary, the EPA rates a 1-barrel 6-cylinder Volare 4-door with manual transmission at 28 miles per gallon highway and 20 city. Don't give up. Get a Plymouth Volare.
For a great value on Plymouth Volare, see your greater Detroit Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
This broadcast is made possible by the Detroit Baseball Club and the American League and is intended for the private use of our listening audience. Rebroadcast or other use of this play-by-play is prohibited unless prior consent is received from WJR Detroit, the Detroit Tiger Baseball Club, and the American League. The announcers for this broadcast are selected and employed by WJR Radio and the Detroit Tiger Baseball Club. Ernie? Carney Lansford leading it off. He's 0 for 2, the hitting hero of the victory last night for California. Has failed to hit in 2 trips against Billingham. And the right-hand batting infielder takes the curve outside from Jack, ball 1. Now, the Angels have had at least 1 hit in every inning except the first, when Billingham set them down 1-2-3. There's a ball low, and the count is 2-0 now on Lansford. Tigers have pulled a couple of double plays within the infield to choke off any rally potential in the 4th and 5th innings. There's a line shot to left, coming hard as Kemp. He's got it on the run toward the diamond as he steered it with a glove, running in toward the infield. Lansford is out, and Dave Chalk will be the batter. They've got an addition out here since we were last here, Bugler. Gentleman who came in, they tried to keep him from bringing that instrument in the ballpark. And eventually the fans rallied to his cause, and now it's gone so far that the Angels have welcomed him here, and even, I think, have given him a season ticket. There's a cut and a miss by Chalk.
With one proviso, that he doesn't play tap.
They don't want to see hear taps for a while, do they? No siree. 1 strike to count on Chalk. There's a foul out of play. It'll reach the seat. And one of the upper deck outfielders made a good catch of that one.
Why don't we do that when the balls come up toward the booth, Ernie?
We know better. There's the ball outside. Under the counter.
Kept thinking I had a perfect shot at one last night, and I just cowered.
Here's a pitch low. 2-2. We don't want to lose you, Paul. We need that.
Well, but I should have protected the amplifier anyway.
Well, was that in Cleveland that Phil Mankowski at the amplifier? Knocked us off the air. You think he was telling me something? Boy, he'll go to great lengths to get us off the air. There's a pitch swung on, a bounding ball to first base, foul.
And then there was Tim Hosley.
Yeah, good old Tim.
Yeah. Tried to get rid of one radio announcer, didn't he?
Hit me in the head down there in spring training. But if you'd been a nice guy, you would have stepped in the way and let it in.
Yeah, you're right.
2-2, that's the count on Chalk. Billingham ready to go again. 1 out, nobody on. 3-0 Tigers in the 7th. There's a bounding ball to first base, deep. Left by Thompson. He makes the play unassisted just in time to get him. Rolled up his close. That ground that took a bad hop, but Thompson negotiated it anyway. Then had a race to the bag, and Chalk almost beat him there. But Thompson was the runner, and they're 2 down. Here's Brian Downing stepping in. He struck out and bounced to Whitaker for double play.
Billingham is the kind of a pitcher who gets the ball over, very seldom walks anybody, and he is usually content to try to pitch to the hitters and let them get his pitch. He's not a strikeout pitcher, although today he has a total of 4 strikeouts. Here's the pitch outside, ball 1. 3-0, Tigers lead, 7th inning. Swinging a bounding ball to short. Campbell has this one for the Thompson in time and in the dirt. Good pickup by Jason. And the Angels go quietly 1, 2, 3 in the 7th. At the end of 7, Tigers 3, California nothing.
When I think of Canada, I think of incredible freshwater fishing. Seeing the sun come up on those cold blue lakes, casting for trout and northern pike, and finding the best beer I ever tasted. Labatt.
Remember Labatt.
And now the best beer Canada brews is here. So you don't have to go to Canada for Labatt. It's imported for your special times. Labatt, brewed in Canada and shipped fresh to you with pride. Labatt, the Clearwater blue sky taste of Canada beer. It's about time you got here, Labatt. The best beer I ever tasted. Labatt Importers, Amherst, New York.
The shortest boxing match was held in Lewiston, Maine in 1946 when Ralph Walton was knocked out in 10.5 seconds in the first round. On Daily Conquest, WJR Sports.
Tigers lead 3-0 over the Angels. The 3 coming on a home run by Rusty Staub in the 3rd. Billingham and Frost have peeled away here in the hot sunshine at Anaheim, and we go to the 8th inning now with the Tigers coming to bat. Jason Thompson will lead it off. The paid attendance this afternoon, 21,447, and the total in the ballpark, 22,920. It'll be Thompson, Kemp, and then May against the Dave Frost. Here's a ball 1. Each ball has bounced down from the stands onto the field. And Rich Garcia is picking it up now. And he's not going to give it back to him and let it happen again. He's going to throw it over there into the Angel dugout. That didn't go over too big. 3-0, the Tigers lead it in the 8th inning. Here's the pitch, and it is a strike called on Thompson. Thompson safe on an error by the shortstop, bounced to second, and then was robbed of a home run on a great catch by Bostock, one of the finest catches we've seen all season. He leaped in the air above the fence, grabbed the ball, and then came up throwing to first base and made a perfect throw back to first. But LeFlore got back in time to avoid the double play. There's the ball outside on Jason. 2-1 the count on Thompson. Frost taking off his cap, wiping off his face with his sleeve. Now looks in to get his sign from Downing. And the tall right-hander kicks and deals. Here's a change-up that comes in high. 3-1. The Tigers really haven't done much with Frost except for those 3 hits and 3 runs in the 3rd inning. Then Foster to no man except for that 3rd inning. 3-0, the Tigers in the lead. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Frosty's a no man. Bad enough without receiving. Now Frost ready to go to work again. Here's the 3-2 serve. Thompson takes an outside pitch and down with a walk. That's the 3rd walk issued by Frost. Steve Kemp ready to step up now. voice you heard in the background, John Ramsey, the fine public address announcer here at the Big A. John's the PA man for just about every sport around this area. 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Tigers. The Angels have no runs, 7 hits, and 1 error. Jackson coming over to talk to Frost, tell him how he's going to handle the first base situation over there, whether he'll hold with Thompson or not. He is going to hold on the bag with Jason. That'll open up a gap between Jackson and Grich. And Kemp swings, and it's a fly ball to center field. Normal depth. Miller is under it. He makes the catch, and Jason tags but doesn't go. So there's a man at first, 1 down to the 8th inning. The Tigers lead 3-0, and Milt May is the batter. May has flied to right, singled to right, and bounced to first base. He's pulled this young right-hander every time he's been up there. Outfield plays in straight up. They bunch him toward the middle. All the infielders are back except for first baseman Jackson. There's a breaking ball over for a strike. After May, it'll be Tim Corcoran for the Tigers here in the 8th inning. Frost delivers. May swings, drives deep to right field. Going back, Bostock near the fence. He reaches up and makes the catch. Had about 2 feet to go before he hauled that one in, and back to first goes Thompson. Oh, Bostock racing to his right. Made the catch. And that'll make it 2 down. Here's Tim Corcoran. Tim has bounced to the pitcher, grounded to first, and singled 1 for 3. Tigers lead at 3-0. They got 3 on Staub homer, the 3rd inning. Right-hander Frost delivers a dive. He got the outside corner with a fastball above the knees. Tigers have left 6 runners on. Well, the Angels have left 6 runners on. Corky swings at the bounding foul into the Tiger dugout. Strike 2, the count on him. Single game tomorrow night, then the Tigers head up the West Coast to Oakland. They'll have a night game followed by a day game, and then they head on home. Resuming action at Tiger Stadium next Friday, a twilight doubleheader against the Angels. And the pitch. He takes the ball wide of the plate. 1-2 the count on Corcoran. Mankowski waits on deck for Detroit. Tigers trying to add to the 3-0 lead here in the 8th inning. Texas and Baltimore is still 1-1. They're in the 12th inning now. It's Baltimore. There's a line shot to right, a hit. Thompson cruising into second. Makes the turn, holds on. Bostock fires the ball back to Grich. The Tigers have 2 men on. The second hit by Corcoran. He and Staub have faced the Tiger hitters. Here's Mankowski stepping up. And we've got the bullpen stirring again for California. Mankowski had a single at strikeout. He's hit in a double play.
The left-hander is Ken Brett, the right-hander Paul Hartzell.
One of these going out there. 2 men on for the Tigers. They've got 2 down. They lead 3-0 in the 8th. There's a line drive to left. It'll be a hit. Thompson coming around third. And he's being held at third by Dick Suzuki. The throw is cut off by Lansford, the third baseman, and the bases are loaded. The ball was hit really too sharply for Thompson to get home on. And now here comes the man with the jacket on. That's the manager, Jim Fregosi, walking toward the mound. He may want to make a change here. Trammell, the right-hand hitter, up next. And he gave the right-hand side of the bullpen. That means Hartzell. So Frost is out of the ball game now, and Hartzell will come in with a bases-loaded situation facing him in the 8th inning.
Ball for Hartzell coming out of the bullpen now for California. They face the right-hand hitting Alan Trammell. And as he walks in from the bullpen in the left field corner, we'll pause right here for station identification. This is the Detroit Tiger Baseball Network.
This is your power station for sports, WJR Detroit, Radio 76, a service of Capital City Communications.
Hartzell has made his way from the bullpen to the mound now. A nice hand to given Dave Frost as he left the ball game. Frost worked 7 2/3 innings and has allowed the 3 Tiger runs on the home run by Staub. He gave up a total of 8 hits. He walked 3, hit 1 batter, had 1 wild pitch, and struck out 1 Tiger. Well, Hartzell, another big right-hander. Frost was even bigger, but Hartzell's 6'5", 200-pounder. Taking over, Hartzell has won 1 and lost 6 this year, but an earned run average, not that bad, 3.71. He's had only 1 start, used the rest of the time in relief by Dave Garcia and his successor, Jim Fregosi. Hartzell has 6 saves to his credit. Dave LaRoche found a way, leading the bullpen crew for California with 13 saves. He used to call it the arson squad out there instead of the fire brigade for a while here in California. But since the last 3 years, they've acquired some excellent relief pitching out there. LaRoche has done really a fine job for California. And now Hartzell, the right-hander, takes over. We'll face Trammell with a bases loaded with Tigers and a walk and a couple of hits. Ernie?
Trammell trying to deliver some runs here. The Tigers have the advantage. They lead at 3-0. They have the bases loaded. And 2 down in the 8th inning with Hartzell pitching to Trammell. Trammell 0 for 3 for the afternoon. Grounded twice to the 5th and bounced to short. And he takes a breaking ball outside. Ball 1. Three in now for the Tigers. Here's the windup in the pitch. It's a strike call, the 1-1 on Alan Trammell. Thompson at third, Corcoran at second base, Mankowski at first. All hits him to come home here now. 3-0 Tigers. Hartzell in ready for the start of Frost. Into the windup, and the pitch. Trammell takes a ball that just missed the outside corner. 2-1 the count on him. Waiting on deck is Ron LeFlore. Hartzell up on the mound to get his sign from Downey. In direction he goes. Pitches. It is a ball wide, a slider. 2-1 the count on Trammell. Outfield straightaway, normal depth. Here's the motion, here's the pitch. Trammell swings and fouls it away. He did not get a real good cut. That's that 2-1 pitch. 2-2 the count on him. The count on Trammell. Now the motion, the runners go. Here's the pitch. He takes the walk. Ball 4. Walked in. The Tigers get another run as Thompson crosses the plate. Everybody moves up 1. And the Detroiters lead it 4-0. RBI for Trammell on the bases loaded walk. Ron LeFlore will be the batter. That's 2 walks and 2 singles in this inning for the Tigers. Hartzell pitches and LeFlore takes a wide one. Ball 1 the count on Ron. Each walk, single, bounce to the first baseman and then hit by pitch. Detroit 4, California nothing, 8th inning. Here's the motion in the pitch. It's a strike call. The fastball over, 1-1. Whitaker waiting on deck. A wind up, the pitch on the way. LeFlore takes. It is a low curve, 2-1. They count on him now. Corcoran at third, Mankowski at second. The man at first is Trammell. Hartzell pitches. There's a bounding ball at second. Get in the inning. Grich has it. The flip goes over to second to the shortstop, Shaw. And the Trammell is fourth. And that's all for the Tigers. They come up with one. 1 run, 2 hits, a couple of walks, no errors, 3 runners are left on base. We go to the last half of the 8th inning. It is Detroit 4, the Angels nothing.
When it's time for a change, what you'd probably like to have is a change for the better. That's why Marathon came up with new Ultra D motor oil. It is definitely a change for the better. Marathon's new Ultra D motor oil is a change for better gas mileage.
A change for the better.
New Ultra D is a change for improved engine protection.
A change for the better.
New Ultra D is a change that means faster starts no matter what the temperature is.
A change for the better.
Marathon's new Ultra D motor oil with special blends, natural and synthetic ingredients. It's really different from conventional blends. Meaning when Ultra D gets together with the engine of your car, things do get better.
A change for the better. New Ultra D motor oil.
New Ultra D motor oil. A change for the better. From the people who do it better. Marathon Oil Company.
A change for the better. New Ultra D. Make a change for the better.
Jack Billingham goes to the mound now to protect that 4-0 Tiger lead. The Angels are batting in the 8th inning. Aurelio Rodriguez takes over third base, replacing the starter there, Mankowski. Rick Miller leading off for California. He's got a strikeout, a single on the ground out to second base. 1 for 3 for Rick. Outfield to left on him, and the infield in close. Here's the pitch. He swings and it's a fly ball to straightaway center, fairly deep. LeFlore just back. He's there waiting. He has it, and there's 1 pitch and 1 down in the California 8th. Here's Bobby Grich. He's been up 3 times and hit a fly to the outfield all 3 times. Once to center, twice to right. 4 runs, 8 hits for the Tigers. No runs and 7 hits for the Angels. Grich takes the ball low and outside in the dirt. Ball 1, the count on him. Bostock is the on-deck man. Here's the pitch. He looks at a ball that's high. 2-0, the count on Bobby. Boston leading Minnesota in the second game in Boston, 1-0 in the third. The Red Sox won the first. Leading Minnesota in the second game in Boston, 1-0 in the third. The Red Sox won the first one 5-3. Kansas City beat the Yankees 3-1. Texas and Baltimore now in the last half of the 12th inning in Baltimore, and they are still in a 1-1 tie. Milwaukee swamped Chicago 10-1, and Oakland has a 2-1 lead over Toronto there in the 6th inning. At Oakland, there's a fastball in close. 3-0 to count on Grich. There's one night game in the American League. Cleveland is at Seattle tonight. Billingham ready, delivers, and Grich takes a strike, a curve across, 3-1. In the National League, these are finals. Montreal beat Houston 6-1. Philadelphia over Atlanta 4-2. Cincinnati romped over New York 9-2, all single games. Here's a ball in too close, and Grich gets a walk. That'll bring up Bostock. Lyman is fly to right and had 2 bunt singles. 3 National League doubleheaders in the first games. Pittsburgh beat San Diego 3-2. Chicago beat Los Angeles 3-2. And St. Louis whipped San Francisco 9-4. In second games of those doubleheaders, Pittsburgh leads San Diego 3-1 in the fourth. The Dodgers are leading the Cubs 4-2 in the seventh inning. And in the ninth inning at St. Louis, the Giants lead the Cardinals 4-0. Here's Bostock at the plate now, the infield and double play depth. 1 on and 1 out. Tigers lead 4-0. It is a strike call. Billingham curved him. For complete details of the Major League action, stay tuned after this broadcast to the Paul Carey Scoreboard Show. Strike one on Lyman Bostock. And he swings on the bounding ball, hit to Whitaker. Maybe two. Over to Trammell. There's one. The relay to first is not in time. Trammell had a little trouble extracting the ball from his glove as the Grich came in on him with a heavy slide to second base. So it's a simple force at second, keeping the Angels alive in their eighth inning. They've got 2 down and a man on. And Ron Jackson, 0 for 2, is at the plate. Last time up, he was hit by a pitch.
Who called in Crawford now loosening in the bullpen for Detroit?
Jackson struck out, hit into a double play, and then was hit by a pitch ball the last trip. Now Billingham going to the set position and delivers. This is breaking ball over for a strike on Ron Jackson. One nothing. Tigers have the lead in California. Jackson swings. There's a drive to left. It'll be in for a hit. A single to left field by Ron Jackson. That puts 2 men on for the Angels. And brings up the always dangerous Don Baylor, the right-hand batter, designated hitter. Baylor has bounced to short, singled, and popped to first. Man on second, Bostock. Man first is Jackson. Outfield deep to left against Don Baylor. Set by Billingham. He pitches. It is a ball that barely missed the outside corner. Botargio looks at that baseball and takes it out of play. Kemp is very deep in left field. Billingham ready, delivers. Baylor swings. There's a long one to left. It'll go foul. He hit that ball a long way, but he pulled it too much. 1-1, the count on Baylor. Digs in again against the right-hand Billingham. The Tiger pitcher gets his sign. He takes his set. He pitches, and there's a foul back this way. Stays on the corrugated roof right in front of the Angel broadcasting booth. The count on Baylor. Billingham in a clutch situation. He's got a 4-0 lead in the eighth inning. 2 on and 2 out. Baylor waits. Here it comes. He takes the slow curve. It missed the outside corner. 2-2. Billingham has been effective with his change of pace. Now Baylor digs in to wait on a 2-2 pitch. Here it comes. He swings as a line drive. Foul. Past third base. Very close. Foul by a foot back up third. Well, Rodriguez, as all third basemen do, playing deep and near the line here in the late innings. And he came close to spearing that liner as he dived to his right. And it was fouled by about a foot. The runners head on back now. gone back to the dugout. I don't know whether he broke his bat or he wants a new one or exactly what. Now he comes out, gets the pine tar rag, heads up toward the plate. 1-0 Tigers, 8th inning, 2 men on for the Angels. They've got 2 down. Billingham back of the mound. That's quite ready to go to work. 35-year-old right-hander Jack Billingham pitching to Don Baylor. Baylor digging in to wait on another 2-2 delivery. Here's the set by Billingham, and here's the pitch. He swings and there's a fly ball to left. It's not deep. Kemp is there. Should have it. He's waiting. He makes the catch, and the side retires. No runs on 1 hit, 7 no errors, and 2 left for the Angels. We go to the 9th inning. Detroit 4, California 0.
There are 2 things I remember about 58. And I spent more on oil from my hair than on oil from a car. And I bought my first Chevy. It's also the year I started using champions. Now in 66, I remember 2 more things. A silver Corvette and a redhead named Georgette. This year I got myself a Chevy wagon and 4 more things to remember. Billy Jean, Billy Joe, Billy Jean, and Billy Bob. I've had a lot of different kinds of Chevys over the years, but one kind of spark plug, champion.
You can't buy a better plug for any kind of car than champion. Champion. You can't buy a better plug no matter where you are than champion. Champion number 1 in the world. Number 1 in your car.
Did I forget someone? Did I forget Billy Jack?
This is Jim Garrett. Visit the new Detroit Science Center. It's open Tuesday through Sunday. It's in the Cultural Center on John R. and Warren.
Hang on now. We go to the 9th inning. The Tigers 4, the Angels 0. Lou Whitaker leading off against the California reliever, Paul Hartzell. Lou without a hit today. He swings on the mounting ball deep second. Grich backs up, has the hop, throw to first. He got him by 2 steps. 1 pitch, 1 man down. And here is the hitting hero of the game for the Tigers, Rusty Staub, with a 3-run homer and a single. He broke the scoreless tie in the 3rd with his home run, throwing LeFlore and Whitaker ahead of him. And then the Tigers added a run in the 8th inning on a bases-loaded walk to Alan Trammell. Ground ball wide at first, through for a base hit. Staub gets his 3rd hit of the game. We got a final now from Baltimore. The Orioles beat Texas 2-1. That one went 12 innings. Stanhouse the winner, and Cleveland takes the loss. Here's Jason Thompson at the plate. 1-0 Tigers lead them in the 9th. Man on first, 1 man down. Hartzell working in relief. Jason is without a hit. He walked and scored a run in the 8th inning. Had a home run taken away from him by Bostock in the 5th. It's a ball high, fastball from Hartzell. Tigers 4, Angels 0, 9th inning. Staub at first, and Jackson playing behind him. Thompson looks at the ball low, over but low. The fastball again from Hartzell. Final game of the series here tomorrow night. It'll be the final appearance of the Tigers in Anaheim in 1978. There's a strike on the outside corner. 2-1, the count on Jason Thompson. Rusty Staub now has 107 hits. He's 1 up on Ron LeFlore for the team leadership. Out of the screen, it is a 2-2 count on Jason. Frost started, and his record reads 7 2/3 innings. He allowed 4 runs on 8 hits, walked 3, and struck out 1. Hartzell came out of the 8th inning, walked the man, and then got a 4th out. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and Thompson takes a wide one. It's got by the catcher Downing all the way to the screen, and Staub will cruise into second. one was wide of the plate about 5 or 6 feet. It's a wild pitch. Tigers have 9 hits, and the Angels have a hit total of 8. Now the pitch to Thompson fouled away. That one came back and hit the plate umpire, Pitch Rotaccio. He's hurting and walked out toward the mound. Warm, sunny day in Southern California. The Tigers got out in front of the third on the 3-run homer by Staub. Added one of the 8th inning. They lead 4-0 in the 9th. And Mr. Hartzell taking his time. Thompson steps back in. Here's the step by the right-hander. The pitch on the way. He hooked him. It was in close. And Thompson gets the walk. That'll put a man at first and a man at second with one down. Bring up Kemp. Kemp has failed to hit in this game. Hit into fourth, to second. He's bounced to short. He's flied out to center field the last 2 times. 2 on, 1 away. The pitch, he looks to the ball, wide of the plate. Now the big right-hander, Hartzell sets, kicks pitches. Kemp swings at a bounding ball to second. Grich loves it over to short for 1. Relay to first. It is a California double play to win the Tiger chances in the 9th. So the Detroiters have no runs on 1 hit. There were no errors. 1 man left on base. We go to the last half of the 9th inning. Detroit 4, California nothing.
When can you afford to throw money away?
Not when I shop.
Not when I drive. Not when I go to the bank. Small change can add up to big dollars. That's why there's a big difference between City National Bank and those other banks that charge you for writing checks.
Nobody has got what City National Bank has got.
Only City National Bank saves you money with combo checking. Keep a minimum $200 in checking or savings. You write all your checks without charge. All your checks without charge. Combo checking. No other bank in Michigan has it.
No statement fee.
No charge per check. At City National Bank, I feel terrific because I'm not throwing money away. Don't throw your money away. Open a City National Bank charge-free checking account now.
Who's got it? Nobody at City National Bank.
Also available at National Bank of Rochester and First Citizens Bank in Troy.
Mr. Billingham on the mound. Now he's got a 4-0 lead going in the last half of the 9th inning here in California. Joe Rudi will lead it off for the Angels. Lansford and Chalk are scheduled to follow in the Angel 9th inning. Rudi has doubled and singled and then struck out with 2 men on and 2 men out in the 6th inning, a key out for Billingham. 4 runs, 9 hits for Detroit, no runs, and 8 hits for California. And Rudi takes a fastball in close on him, ball 1. Outfield deep to left, the infield back. Rodriguez is in a little bit now, backs up 4 steps. Billingham checks his time with May and pitches, and Rudi takes a ball outside. 2-0 to count on Joe. Ninth inning, 4-0 Tigers. They're trying to get even in this series. Sonata blanked them last night. There's a strike. He got the inside corner. Rudi jumped out of the way, and it cuts the corner. 2-1. Billingham second his side. Winds and delivers. Rudi swings a ground ball at the short. Trammell has it. Here's the throw to Thompson at first. Got him by about 5 steps. 1 up and 1 down. And Lansford, the young third baseman, who's 0 for 3, steps up. Bostock has a couple of singles. Rudi has a double and a single. They've led the hitting attack for California. Here's a strike call on Lansford. Miller has a single. Jackson a single. Don Baylor a single. And Chalk a single. Billingham's curve breaks away from the plate. 1-1. That's the count now on Carney Lansford. 1 down, 9th inning. Tigers lead 4-0. Here's the pitch. He takes a ball at high, over the plate for the high. 2-1 the count on him. Don't forget the scoreboard show when the game's over. Paul will have all the scores and details of all the action. There's a fly ball right center field. LeFlore chasing to the glove side, way back. He's got it on the run. Went all the way to the warning track to make that catch. 2 down, and the batter now will be Chalk. Chalk with a fly to center to single and bounce to first base. Right-hand batting infielder Dave Chalk. Billingham winds and delivers. It is a strike call. Got a breaking pitch over. 4-0 Tigers, 9th inning, California batting. Chalk looks for the ball. Low, 1-1 the count on him. Now Billingham kicks and deals. Here's a line shot on 1 hop past the glove of Whitaker. He had a chance on it. He backed up and couldn't handle it. A very tough play. It scored as a single. The play that Whitaker made last night, but he didn't make it that time. It is scored as a 2-out single. And Brian Downing, the number 9 man in the batting order, steps up. The 9th hit for California. Strike called on Downing. He took a breaking ball over. He struck out, bounced into double play, and grounded to short. 4-0 Tigers. Billingham pitches. There's a bounding ball to third past Rodriguez. In the left field corner, chased down by Kemp, and holding at second on a single will be Shaw. So the Angels are flapping their wings down the 9th inning. With 2 down, they've had back-to-back singles. That brings up the top of the batting order, Rick Miller, the left-hand hitting outfielder. Single also is the 10th hit for California. They have out-hit the Tigers 10-9. They've had a hit in every inning except the first and the 7th when Billingham got them out 1-2-3. Tigers lead 4-0. But the Angels have runners at first and second and 2 down in the 9th inning. Rick Miller waiting at the plate. Billingham pitches. Here's a strike. He curved it. Outfield slightly to left on Rick Miller, the infield back. Thompson's not going to bother with a runner with that left-hand hitter up there. The Tigers leading 4-0. He takes a breaking ball in too close, 1-1 on Rick. Now Miller steps away for a moment. Chalk on second, Downing on first. Time called just as Billingham got ready to pitch. Miller steps out again. Billingham ready. Miller hanging in there this time. 1-1 pitch coming up to Rick. And he swings as a fly ball to left field. Going back is Kemp. He's under it now. He has it, and the Tigers win. It's the first shutout of the Tiger for Jack Billingham. That'll even the series at 1 victory apiece. Each game has been a shutout. In the ninth inning, no runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left for California. The final score, Tigers 4, the Angels nothing.
All the way around, the carry of the good and hot, the night and set, down at Little Caesars, just order and
Little Caesars has sliced the price of pizza in half. If you clip out the 2-for-1 free pizza coupon that appears in your local newspaper or TV book, you'll get 2 medium Little Caesars pizzas for the price of 1. Now you can cut down on price without cutting down on taste. Little Caesars has the solution to those meals when Mom doesn't feel like cooking and the family appetite is bigger than the budget. Use your free pizza coupon from Little Caesars. A winner any way you slice it. WJR congratulates Arthur Erickson, recently named Director of Advertising and Creative Services for the Stroh Brewery Company. Art, we of Radio 76 salute you.
Well, Jack Billingham, with his first shutout as a Tiger, records his 8th win against 5 setbacks in pitching the Tigers to a 4-0 victory over the California Angels to square the series at a game apiece. Billingham nicked for 10 hits, but was tough when he had to be. Picked up his 24th career shutout, and his first, of course, in the American League. He had 2 last year with Cincinnati, one in June against the Mets, and one in April against the Cubs. And Billingham gets his first as a Tiger here this afternoon in Anaheim. Rusty Staub keying the victory offensively for the Tigers with a 3rd inning, 3-run homer, following an infield hit by Ron LeFlore and a walk to Lou Whitaker. That made it 3-0, and it stayed that way until the 8th inning, when with the bases loaded, Paul Hartzell relieved Dave Frost and walked Alan Trammell, the 4th in, the only other run of the ball game. The totals for Detroit, 4 runs, 9 hits, and no errors. They left 10 on base. For California, no runs, 10 hits, and 1 error, and the Angels left 10 on base. Dave Frost went 7 2/3 innings and suffered his second loss. He's won twice. He gave up 8 of the 9 Tiger hits and all 4 runs. He walked 3 and struck out 1. Hartzell came on, issued a couple of walks, and gave up 1 Tiger hit in an inning and a third. Billingham goes the distance for the shutout, strikes out 4. He walks only 1 and hits 1 batter. 21,447, the paid attendance here this afternoon as the Angels went over the million mark for the season, the earliest they have reached the million mark in their franchise history in Southern California. The game took 2 hours and 22 minutes to be completed. So the series now even at the game apiece, with a rubber game coming up on Monday night. Tomorrow night, Steve Baker, the Tiger rookie right-hander, will go against John Canara, who has just been recalled from Salt Lake City. Canara won a couple and lost a couple last year in a trial with the Angels. So it'll not be his major league debut, but it will be his first appearance of this season for California. And our broadcast coverage tomorrow night will be late, with Ernie Harwell's Tiger Beat pregame program beginning at 10:15 Michigan time. That's the story from the Big A in Anaheim for this warm Sunday afternoon. Now for Ernie, this is Paul Carey saying so long. Once again, the final score: the Detroit Tigers 4, the California Angels nothing. You've been listening to Detroit Tiger Baseball 1978, brought to you by Labatt. For beer at its finest, call for Labatt, Canada's #1 beer. By your Marathon dealers and Marathon distributors, people who got together to do it better. By your greater Detroit Chrysler Plymouth dealers who got Horizon, Motor Trend Magazine's Car of the Year. By Champion Spark Plugs, Champion makes the plug for virtually every engine made. If it runs on land, sea, or air, it will run better with a fresh set of Champion. Try Champions, you can buy a better plug. Buy the Detroit News. For the first good news in sports every morning, read the Detroit News AM edition at newsstands at 6:30 every morning. By City National Bank, where you can get combo checking, 2 ways to check without charges. And by Little Caesars Pizza, a winner any way you slice it. This is the Detroit Tiger Baseball Network.
This is WJR Detroit. This is Ernie Harwell for Sunglow Pop. There's a lot of noise out there about soft drinks, a lot of suggestions that a particular beverage will put California girls into your life and make you 30 years younger, or turn a cheeseburger into a work of art. Sunglow Pop doesn't do any of that. Sunglow simply offers you a cool, refreshing taste and 11 luscious flavors at a thoroughly agreeable price. Sunglow Pop. It's just a soft drink with a refreshing taste. Sunglow, a radiant refreshment. And here's another refreshing idea from Sunglow. Sunglow Lemonade. You know, I remember my mother making lemonade on hot summer days when I was a kid, and somehow it just wasn't summer until she squeezed those lemons and fixed that lemonade. So you can have that wonderful lemon flavor without all the fuss in new Sunglow Lemonade. It's non-carbonated, fortified with vitamin C, and ready to drink. No mixing, no stirring, just a refreshing glass of lemonade in a can.
Available in the soft drink section at all stores. Welcome to the Paul Carey Scoreboard Show, brought to you by Denny's Restaurant, serving you throughout the country 24 hours a day. And now for the scores and a resume of the action of today's baseball games. Back to the stadium and Paul Carey.
Good afternoon again from Anaheim, California, where today the Tigers blanked the Angels 4-0. Let's check the Sunday scoreboard. Lots of activity in both leagues, particularly the National League, with 3 doubleheaders. At Pittsburgh, in the opener of 2 games, the Pirates went 10 innings to beat the Padres 3-2. 3-9-2 for Pittsburgh, 2-5-1 for the Padres. Whitson, in relief, got the win. He's 3-3, while Raleigh Fingers suffered his 9th loss. He's won 4 times. Willie Stargell hit a 2-run homer early in the game for Pittsburgh, his 14th. Pirates won the opener by a run 3-2. In the nightcap, we've got an updated score now. San Diego has come up with 4 runs in the 4th inning, and now leads Pittsburgh 5-3 after 4 innings. Shirley, all the way for San Diego. Royce started for Pittsburgh. He's been relieved now by Whitson in the 4th. Gene Tennis has hit a pair of home runs for San Diego. Hit a bases empty homer in the 2nd, his 9th. And then in the 4th inning, has hit a 3-run homer, his 10th of the year. Robinson hit a 2-run homer for Pittsburgh in the nightcap. After 4 innings, the Padres lead it 5-3. Doubleheader at Chicago. In the opener, the Cubs defeated the Dodgers 3-2, 3-8-0 for Chicago, 2-6-1 for the Dodgers. Krukow, a perfect 4-0 on the year, got help from Bruce Sutter. Roden, the loser, Rick is 7-5 for the year. So the Cubs win the opener 3-2. In the nightcap, we're looking for a final on this one. In the 9th inning, the Dodgers are leading by a score of 5-2. Bert Hooton all the way for Los Angeles. The Cubs have gone with 4 pitchers. Dusty Baker is homered for Los Angeles, his 7th. Doubleheader at St. Louis. The Cardinals won the opener from the Giants 9-4. 9-14-1 for the Cards. 4-8-2 for the Giants. The win going to Silvio Martinez. He is 4-3. Barr, the loser. Steve has won 4 and lost 7. And Clark and Herndon both hit 2-run homers for the Giants in the opening game, but they lost it 9-4. Second game, not yet over. They're in the bottom of the 9th inning at St. Louis, and the Giants are leading 6-0. Ed Halicki has blanked St. Louis thus far. Urea and Thomas have worked for the Cards. In single games at Montreal, the Expos pounded out a 6-1 win over Houston. 6 runs, 17 hits, no errors for Montreal. 1-7-0 for Houston. Shotsetter, the winner, is now 3-.